Welcome back, guys, to another Rob Reviews. Today we'll be looking at Game of Thrones, Season 3, Episode 7, The Bear and the Maiden Fair. So my overall reaction with this episode was somewhat average, considering the fact that it was more focused on relationships and not really advancing the plot too much. Even in this episode, there is no central focus. There's no central... I guess you could argue that maybe Jaime at the end is the central focus of this episode because it's titled The Bear and the Maiden Fair, but we don't really get to see him until the end. We do, however, see a lot more of Jon Snow and a lot more of Tyrion talking to Shae. So those two relationships colliding, and we get to see how they're unfolding. And also the relationship between Robb and his wife, Talisa, who are also talking about how they're going to have a child soon, which is news to anybody. So let's just dive right into the very beginning. Well, maybe not the very beginning, but I just want to talk about King's Landing real quick. We go and flash over to Sansa. Let's get her out of the way. We see her coming to grips with Marjorie, and crying, moping. Big surprise there, guys. Crying and moping. Sansa. Okay. I'm not going to pick on her too much, considering the fact that she's been screwed over the most in this series so far. However, I have to say that Sansa really needs to get her act together, especially even after she was complaining to Marjorie. She was still... about her being a child, she was still acting like a child to Marjorie when she was complaining about her marrying Tyrion, which has been the nicest person to her in freaking King's Landing, and she can't get over the fact that he's a dwarf. A dwarf, quote-unquote, in her words. It bothers me so much, but that's her character, you know? And I used to be I would be the first one to advocate for her, saying, oh, she's young, you know, but here, now she's grown up physically, you know, like she's freaking taller than Shae, she's taller than everybody, and that she's freaking tall. But now she really needs to grow up, okay? And I'm going to try to end this rant right now before I get into it too deep. I'll have to make another separate video on her character and rant about her. However, we go and we see that Lady Marjorie comes back at her and says, you think you have it bad? I have it bad, a little bit more, because I'm marrying a freaking psychopath who could kill me at any point with a crossbow. And I'm standing on thin ice with this guy. So, yeah, you think you got it bad? Try dealing with that. Next, we'll move to Tyrion and Bronn. They basically talk about the same thing that we saw with Sansa and Marjorie, except the guy's version, which I thought was pretty cool. A lot of people were saying that, oh, it was the same thing, but it's good to see both sides of the coin, you know, how they're both put in this situation together and how they're both forced to do this against their will. And it's always great to see Tyrion and Bronn just do talking one-on-one. I mean, I could sit and watch an hour's worth of them just talking in a room about tits. Literally, I could do that. Yes, I know that doesn't sound classy. I'm sorry, but I could. Moving on from that, we'll go to Tyrion and Shae. Now, I was very confused with this dialogue between him and Shae. Shae's complaining about him being married. Well, what did she expect? She's a freaking whore. Of course, he has to be forced to marry somebody else. And she goes on about saying, do you think I would have children with you when your father would just kill them? Well, why are you in a relationship with him? You're complaining about that. Well, do you expect him to just leave his family and forsake everything to go back to her home or something? In the free cities across the narrow sea? Hello? Wake up to reality. This is his world. This is how he works. Sorry, you can't stay around all the time, you know, that he has to do this. And apparently this came out of nowhere, and this is just very, very weird. to have this conversation with him. But it's understandable that she's mad, but at the same time, I'm questioning the fact that, well, what'd you expect? You know? She's smarter than that. And I guess it has to deal with that, well, maybe, she can't stand him being in the arms of another woman? But I don't know. It's just very odd. And since day one, the chemistry between him and Shay has been a little odd. I never got and understood what Shay saw in Tyrion that was very intriguing. Maybe it was that he had a good heart, but I don't know. There was never a good moment with them that I felt like it was a true relationship compared to what Robb and Talisa had, or what Jon Snow had with Ygritte, So I think that is the weakest relationship between them. And it's hard to do that too, because Tyrion's such a great actor, and I don't know. It's not the actress, it's the writing for Shay. I don't like it. And I think it was very poor and very weak in this episode, which is very rare to find in a Game of Thrones episode to have poor writing. But that was utmost example of poor writing right there. So somebody needs to do a better plot line with Shay and Tyrion, because that was just terrible. I know I'm being very heavy, and a lot of you guys are going to give me flack on it, but I have high standards when it comes to Game of Thrones, because I know they can pull out nines all the time. So let's just move on from that. Well, and also in King's Landing, we also see Melisandre carrying off Robert Baratheon's bastard son, Gendry, who Gendry is now revealed to him that he is the son of Robert Baratheon. So that is very shell-shocking to him, as you see that he is of noble birth, and he can decide what he will be in the future. What will he become? Sadly, we don't know what is going to happen to him, but judging by the sneak peek for next episode, it's not good for him. Really is not. And if you haven't seen the sneak peek, or choose not to, I won't go into it too much. I might do another review separate from that on the analyzing of that video. But let's move on from that. Jon Snow and Ygritte. So this is very cool. Again, I have to say that the dialogue between them felt like it was reverting back to last episode. It kind of went back to last episode where Jon Snow was struggling to decide, well, should I warn these people? Should I, But, he tries to warn Ygritte, which is very good, He tries to say, hey, you all will die if you do this. So, he says, 6 times you've done this. 6 times you were defeated. You're gonna die. And Ygritte responds to him, then we'll die together, basically. And Jon loves her at this point. And it's tough because the Night's Watch, the vows that they take is to not have love with a woman. And this is why. So you're finally seeing his conflicts come into place, even though he's been doing that all episode. And I have to say that Ygritte is probably the biggest challenge, more so than Mance Rayder is, because she represents what he kind of always wanted, basically. He thought he always wanted the Night's Watch, thought there were, a group of grand old men who were honorable, and it turned out they're all scumbags and evil people, as we saw with the deconstruction of the Night's Watch in a couple episodes ago, happening at Crash's Keep. Now, I hope Jon saves Ygritte from her fate for what's to come, or their fate, what's to come. Who knows? Maybe Jon will join them and die. Who knows? I hope that they'll succeed in that. And you got the sense of these people may die. I felt that. I felt that with everybody, actually. Tyrion may die from Joffrey, or Shay may die from being found out from Tywin. You don't know how long these people have left in the show. You never know. Anybody could die at any point. And it's important to cherish these dialogue moments between these characters. Because you know this show. You know that there cannot be happiness for more than one episode, okay? You know a storm is coming. A storm of swords! Yes, I know, this is the title of the third book, okay? So, sue me, whatever. So anyway, I felt that John and Ygritte's dialogue scene were very good, and, you know, it also shows that Ygritte is unwilling to back down from a fight, and unwilling back down from her determination to claim the land of the North, because this is the dream that she has as a child. After climbing that wall, she thinks she can conquer anything. Anything. Okay? So she's gonna think, oh, I can conquer Winterfell, I climbed the wall, I can blow it up. So, hopefully, she will not die. Moving on from Jon Snow and Ygritte, we'll go to Theon. Okay, so this guy, whoever this unknown man is very, very evil. I called it. I was watching it with my friend, which is great because I actually watched this season with somebody for the first time. It's tough to do that at my dorm, but I did that with a friend, and I pointed out to him, like, okay, this is not right. Like, he is gonna get dicked over. Like, when I saw those two naked girls come up to him, I'm like, it's a trick. It's a trap, you know? It's a trick. He was playing with his mental psyche again, like he did with releasing him. He's such a great torturer. He knows how to get in that person's head, and he knows how to get into Theon's head, and, you know, he's playing around with him liking girls, and now, if he ever escapes, he'll probably never fuck a girl again. One, because he'll probably have his dick ripped off from that knife. Two, because every time he will fuck a girl, he'll think of him. He'll think of what he did to him. And will stay in his mind forever. And my thought is, he's going to let Theon go at the end, but he's going to be so unrecognizable. He'll be a whole different character. So, that's my guess. And at this point, I just want Theon to die at this point, because he shouldn't have to go through this. Just kill him, alright? Just kill him off if you need to. Please. He wants to die. I want him to die. Just to give him mercy. And his torturer, he makes the line saying, oh, this is mercy. I'm not going to kill you. No! And actually, this echoes back to the words that Joffrey said. He said that, oh, I gave him mercy. I gave him a clean death. And at this point, you're like, shit, this guy is 10 times more evil than Joffrey. I never thought that could be possible. But he is. He is terrible. And if Joffrey gets killed off, you still got this dick running around with a knife. Holy shit. This show can never run out of terrible, evil people in it. And I love it. Ugh. But I hate these torture scenes because they feel like they're being dragged on way too much. Way too much. Like, I thought it was clever to play with his mental psyche again, but I thought we were done with it in the last episode. I want a pacing break, please. You know, if you're not going to advance it, why show it? I don't know. Like, I thought they could have used much more scenes focused on other characters. Again, with Arya has got the short stick in this season. I really hate it because she's such a talented actress. There's not a lot of opportunities where you can find a young actress, as young as she is, that can do that much acting. It's that good, but is underused in this season. She was so good in season 2. She was so good. She was great in season 1. Holy crap, with Syrio Forel and all of those dialogue scenes. And here, you have so much potential with her, with Lord Beric Dondarrion, you know, talking to him. And that was a great dialogue scene. Holy crap. Ugh. And I'm so glad that she's going to have more screen time next episode with the Hound. Ugh. So, I'm hoping for that. So, I thought she got the short stick in this episode, but that was a nice surprise, her getting captured by the Hound by running away, which I have to say, she is the fastest little kid in the world. Those guards, holy crap, they weren't even, like, charging after her. The whole place was filled with guards, and he only sends 2 guys after her. It's crazy. And then she just runs away from them. I'm like, come on, really? That's how she gets away? She doesn't sneak out, you know? She just runs right away. I don't know. It sounds very stupid. She could have just ran away the whole time, but that's a little plot hole. Moving on from that, we'll head to Bran. Okay, here is another missed opportunity here. I'm sorry if I'm trashing on this episode. I'm sorry if I'm doing that. But I watched this episode twice. I always watch these episodes twice before I do my reviews. So I noticed that Jojen was talking about the wetlands and where he's from, and he was talking about his father. This was before we focus on Osha, and you could barely hear it too. This is important information. This is very important information, where their background is, where they came from, what is their purpose, what is their goal, why are they tracking Bran? We still don't know these things. We know that Bran is going to Beyond the Wall, and we don't know why. We know that he's doing this because he wants to see the three-eyed raven. Where the hell did you pull that out of your ass? Give me explanation. Give me something. I was just as surprised as Osha was. Osha was looking at Bran like he was nuts out of his mind. I was doing the same thing. I'm like, Bran, you're fucking high as a kite right now. You think he's going to bring you back your legs? Well, probably not. He's probably not expecting that. He's probably expecting him to be trained in the arts of the warg way. But, or the Swartz way, who knows. But, I thought that this was totally dropped on us. They could have done so many things by just telling us, like, have a scene where, Bran was talking one-on-one with, Jojen about the purpose of him being a ward, explore more of that. But don't leave the viewer in the dark with this important information. Don't leave Osha in the dark. Well, you could leave her in the dark. And I'm predicting that she is going to take Rickon and go to Castle Black with him, with Hodor as well. And then Jojen is going to take Bran to Beyond the Wall with his sister. And they're going to find the three-eyed raven. Apparently, I thought they only could find that in the dreams, but apparently he exists in real life. How? I don't know. Let's go ask Jojen. Oh, wait, we can't, because they didn't explain that in the episode. Oh, or Osha was talking over them to Hodor, of all people. We got Hodor. Great, that's funny, but give me something. Give me something. Moving aside from that, we'll go to across the Narrow Sea to Daenerys, Emilia Clarke. Holy crap, she is on fire right now. She is just moving along like water. She is so good. Oh, every time she's on screen, every time, I'm just waiting for her to just annihilate somebody. And she was talking to the ambassador who came to her from the city of Yunkai. I'm sorry, Yunkai, who has 200 slaves in that city. She wants to free them. Now, she's going to do it. I know she is. She's going to do a very clever way of doing this, too. Now, however, will it benefit her in the end? I probably would. Will it benefit the city? Hell no. Think about it. I am no advocate for slavery. Holy crap, I'm far from it. But I'm just, grounding it in this world. Just think about it. Like, if she wipes out their slavery, that's part of the economy, right? So that whole city of Yunkai is gold will disappear completely. Their trade will disappear completely. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like all these cities in the Narrow Sea rely on this kind of to sustain them, because look around, they have nothing. It's a freaking desert wasteland. What are you expecting them to do besides slavery? And and Daenerys is still seeing things in kind of black and whitish, but not as much as Arya is. But she is kind of like the grown-up version of Arya, I have to say, and mixed with Cersei. Oh, yes, that is the perfect combo. Cersei and Arya, you get Daenerys. But she is very good, and she'll probably succeed, but she'll probably decimate the economy, and she'll realize that she has to take care of 200 slaves and try to feed them. So she demands them to surrender, or she will attack them, surrender all the slaves, and give them enough food to carry. So there'll be some consequences, and of course it's not going to happen. They're not going to do that. So, but she was scaring them off, the ambassador, with her dragons, which was great to see. She's like, "Oh, I promise you safe passage, but my dragons didn't." And so we saw her dragons breathe fire on this poor ambassador. I felt so sorry for the guy, but at the end, when he was like, "We'll make slave out of you," I'm like, "Fuck you, dragons! Roast that motherfucker!" And they almost did, which I was sad that they didn't. I really wanted to see him fry, and I wanted Daenerys to say, "Send him his corpse back to him after my dragons are done eating him." That would have been a great line. Ho ho ho. But sadly, no. We didn't get to see that. But oh well. She's an advocate for peace. And if that fails her, she's an advocate for blood and fire. Moving from that, we'll go to Harrenhal, which was the last place of this episode to focus on. We get to see Jaime coming... No. I apologize. We see Jaime as a new person. As a brand new person. I decided this, that Jaime is a new man right now, right when he was talking to Brienne. When Brienne asked him, "Will you keep your promise of returning the Stark girls?" I loved how she wasn't even concerned for her own safety. She was still concerned for the loyalty that she had to Catelyn Stark and those girls. And he said, without blinking, without hesitating, without even looking away, "Yes, I will. I promise you." That was the most powerful line I have felt this season, I have to say. That line from Jaime it's so rewarding to hear that, especially from him. He's changed so much. His character progression, if you look at him from season 1 to season 3, you think they're two different characters. It's great, and it's evolved beautifully, and it's just beautiful to see that. And it's just amazing that we get to have a character that was so evil become just amazing right now, and we get to see him evolve. The next thing I'm talking about with Jaime and Brienne is when Jaime says goodbye to her, Brienne responds, "Goodbye, Sir Jaime." She doesn't call him Kingslayer. That is the most important part right there. She forgives him without even saying it. She doesn't need to, She doesn't even need to hear her say it. With that line right there, Sir Jaime, he knows that he's forgiven by her and is a new man. He is not Kingslayer anymore to her. He's not Kingslayer. He is Sir Jaime. And I will treat him as Sir Jaime now. I won't call him Kingslayer anymore because he's earned it. And it's just a great episode to see that they are moving that plot along. And also, he went to go back to rescue her. Holy crap, that was great. He jumped down, not even concerned for his own safety, which is beautiful. He got her up, and he got out of there too with using both of his arms. It was great to see that. Now, I have to say, I was a little disappointed though in the ending. I'm not disappointed in the lack of too much fight scene between the bear. I know they couldn't do that for technical reasons too much, but that was a great scene between the bear and that. I'm talking about the scene with Locke, which was the guy who chopped off Jaime's arm. If you didn't know that guy's name, that's Locke, apparently. He pulls out his dagger a little bit. My friend thought Locke would stab Jaime. I knew that one wasn't going to be coming, but I thought something would break out, like Locke Locke's posse would attack, would attack the guy who was trying to escort Jamie back to King's Landing. You know, I thought Locke and his group would attack that guy and his group, and they would have like a little Civil War brawl going on between the armies. You know, I thought that'd be awesome, and that Jamie and Brienne could have escaped with the Meister. You know, and they could have just all left together riding a horse or something, or like a carriage. And I thought that was a big waste of potential they could have possibly had if they did that. But you know, it wasn't too bad, I guess. But I think it was more good than bad, definitely. So far, you know, I wasn't too thrilled about this episode. But, you know, at the same time, the quality in this episode was fantastic. Did you know that they did that bear scene with, the bear wasn't even there. They actually did a real bear in LA, and they used a green screen, and I think they used After Effects and just brought it in from that to the scene they constructed. And that was really cool. I watched behind the scenes for that. It was really nice. If you have HBO Go, you can use the interactive features, and it'll show you all that stuff. When I watch it a second time, I watched it with the interactive features. But anyway, you want to know my grade on this episode, and I'm trying to avoid it, but I know I'm going to get some backlash on it. I know I'm going to get people saying, I want 10 out of 10. That's just insane. I can't give 10 out of 10 in every episode, guys. I'm sorry. I know who you are. But stop saying that, please. I haven't, you know, I'm glad to see your opinion, but when you keep on spamming 10 out of 10 every single episode, come on, there has to be some flaws in it. There can't be so many perfect episodes. In Game of Thrones, I think there's only like 4 or 5 episodes where I could give them 10 out of 10 in all 3 seasons. But like, you know, I give this episode an 8.5 out of 10. That's my grade for it. You know, I stick by that too. I think it was jumbled up a little too much. I thought that the writing for Shay was terrible. I think the same thing we've been seeing for Theon so many times that we're sick of it, and we're a little just, you know, we're turned off from it. You know, they actually had they actually had a small percentage drop in viewers for Game of Thrones, and I think that's because of the Theon torture scenes. You know, I swear to God, I think that is from that. So I guess that's where it is. But like, you know, I like this episode a lot too in some ways with Jamie, you know, with Rob and Talisa. You know, their dialogue scene was great too, and I saw that the expression of Kat's reaction when she saw him kissing her, or when she saw Rob kissing Talisa. That was great. It said it all. You know, said that she has lost her son completely to this woman. You know. It's not saying Talisa's a bad person. It's just saying there's a jealous mother, basically, losing her child. And, I don't know. It's just, you know, very good episode. You know, 8.5 is very good at grade. So, I don't know. Anyway, I've talked too much. I better let you go get some sleep. Or, if you're awake or this is morning for you, go get some breakfast, lunch, dinner, play with friends. Or, you know, watch more reviews. I'll probably have some more content coming up soon before the next review. I'll probably do an analysis on the next episode. How am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to analyze the sneak peek using Premiere Pro. So I'm going to do a frame by frame and talk about what might be happening next. So we'll do that soon, and I'll see you guys later. And subscribe, hit that like button if you want. You know, I'm sorry I have to say that, you know, but like I'm trying to start this channel up, and you know I want to promote myself a little bit, so I'm sorry if I am, you know, doing that too much, I guess. Comment below, let me know if I should stop saying subscribe. Yeah, okay. But you know, so have a good day, and thanks for watching. It's been Rob Summerhays, forever and always, signing off. Till next time.